The family that prays together stays together. My name is Isaiah Collins. I'm a seminarian of the Congregation of Holy Cross. I'm currently studying philosophy under the Hundred House of Formation. So I'm going to talk about the doctrinal reflection about the Holy Trinity, the most sacred mystery of the most Holy Trinity. This Trinity is a very fundamental feature in our Christian lives. Knowledge of the Holy Trinity is a very fundamental in our day-to-day living. For God the Father created us, God the Son saved us, and God the Holy Spirit is our comforter. Is the one who helps us in our day-to-day situations as we live, as we journey towards going to God after our passing from this world, which is our death. So today we want to talk about the relationship between these three persons of the Holy Trinity. St. Augustine, in his work De Trinitate, on contemplating upon this divine mystery, he said that God, upon a perfect contemplation of himself, makes an image of himself. This is the generation of God the Son. The perfect contemplation of God the Father on himself generates the perfect image of himself, which is God the Son. And this love that comes out of the contemplation of God the Father on himself is the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. And that's why we know that this Trinity is the union of love. And that's why we see that love is a very key thing from the very beginning, before the world was created. And in the book of John, we get to hear that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. This Word, as I have told you earlier, the contemplation of God the Father on himself, this knowledge of God the Father of himself, this wisdom is what we call God the Son. So wisdom, knowledge, the Word, or in Greek we call it the Logos. This Logos is what we know as, is what we call God the Son. And this is none other than Jesus Christ himself. And that's why we get to see in our salvation history, when God the Father sent God the Son on earth, he sent him to reveal himself to us. As I have mentioned earlier, God the Son is the image of God the Father, the perfect image. When you see God the Son, you see God the Father. When you see Christ, you see the Father. When you see Christ, you see God. And that's why he was saying in the Gospels, I and the Father are one. When you see me, you see the Father. And this love that is shared between God the Father and God the Son is the Holy Spirit. And that's why Christ was saying love is the greatest commandment of all. Love is what unites us. Love is what brings us closer to God. Because when we love someone, my brothers and sisters, when we love one another, is when we shall do good to one another. Whenever there is no love between people, a void is left. And that void is left for things such as hatred, for things such as jealousy, all evils, all imperfections come about. And the Holy Spirit, whom Christ said that when he ascends up to heaven, he shall send as our comforter, the Paraclete, is this symbol of love. He came to the disciples as a symbol of fire, in tongues of fire, to comfort them and to enable them to preach much better. For before the coming of the Holy Spirit, the disciples were scared of the Jews, were afraid. But the fear departed, and Peter gave the people a very good sermon after the Holy Spirit had descended upon him. And that's why we need the Holy Spirit. And through the salvation that God the Son obtained for us, and through the bodies that we have, which we were created with, which God created us with, we're supposed to serve him, so that at the end of time, we'll be united, we'll be joined with him, and we shall celebrate with him, joined with his love. The world at prayer is the world at peace. Thank you.